So now that we've talked about intercepts, we're going to talk about another key aspect of a line, which is the slope. So basically the slope is just the steepness of a line in relation to the x-axis. You all might have learned it as rise over run. Basically we want to know what the change in y is for a given change in x. And that will let us know, that will allow us to quantify what the steepness is. So the equation that we use to do that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where y2, x2 is a point on the line and y1, x1 is another point on the line. So you need two different points to calculate the slope. So let's take this example. Let's say this point is 8, 1, and this point is negative 1, negative 4. How would we calculate the slope of this line given those 2 points? Go ahead and give that a try yourself, and then come on back. So, given these two, this is an 8, that's maybe not very clear. Given these 2 points, we basically can just plug these in to this equation. So let's take 8, 1 as our second point, and negative 1, negative 4 is our first point. So y2 is 1, y1 is negative 4, x2 is 8, and x1 is negative 1. And then we solve that to get 5 over 9. So the slope of this line is 5 over 9. And no matter which 2 points we chose on this line, we're going to get the same slope because the slope is constant throughout the line. So this is a positive slope, meaning that as x increases, y also increases. So both the numerator and denominator are positive. However, if we had a line that looked like this, that would have a negative slope, because as x increases, y decreases. And a horizontal line would have a 0 slope, because y is the same throughout the entire line, so the numerator would be 0. And if we had a vertical line, that line would have no slope or undefined slope, because x is the same throughout the line, so our denominator would be equal to 0, which leads to an undefined slope. How do we find the slope of a line given 2 different points? But how do we find the slope of a line given an equation, a linear equation? Well, if you already think you know how to do this, go ahead and give it a shot and then come on back. If not, I'm just going to walk everyone through this. So first, we need to get our line into the form y equals mx plus b, which may look familiar from previous courses. We call this the slope intercept form, and we'll learn more about it in our forms of line video. But basically we want to make this equation look like this equation, which it doesn't right now, because the x and y are on the same side of the equation and the y has a coefficient in front of it. So we want to make it look identical with this, with m and b being numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that out. First I'll subtract out 4x from both sides. Then I'll divide out negative 3. And then I will just switch these two over here to make it look identical. So now we have this equation that is our y equals mx plus b equation, where this is m and this is b. So the thing that we know about slope intercept form is that the m is the slope and the b is the y-intercept. Again, we'll go over that more in another video. But since we know that m is slope, our second step is basically just recognizing that and realizing that 4/3 is the slope of this equation. So when you have a linear equation, you just want to flip it into the form y equals mx plus b, and then take the m, and that is your slope. In our next video, we will talk about how we can use slope to understand if lines are parallel or perpendicular, so tune into that one next.